Welcome back to the Engineered Angler. I'm back in the shop, as you can see. I'm in here to show you a quick fix for any little defect or air bubbles you might have in your casting for your lure. Or maybe you've got a flaw in your wood that you carved, or maybe you found something nasty in the middle of the wood that you were lathing like I did a minute ago. So let me show you what I do to fix these things really quickly and really easily without a whole lot of sanding or a whole lot of waiting. So check this out. Okay, here's a casting with some flaws. Here I have a little bit of a gap between the casting and the mold, right where the lead weight is inside the lure. And here I have what is basically a bubble that I broke out. So we're going to fix these real simply and really quickly. And all you need is super glue and a little bit of the accelerator. You got to get yourself some accelerator. That stuff is very handy. Here's the accelerator I use. It's from Hobbybond. I got this big old bottle, 8 ounces, for about $8. You can buy this stuff in small bottles, like 2-ounce bottles, in your local hobby store, but it's about twice as much. But you don't need very much. You also want some super glue and a small piece of paper towel that you just rip off so that you can use it to wipe up excess. The process is simple enough. Just want to put just enough super glue just to get the bottom coated, and you can see in there, hopefully you can kind of see how that is, just barely enough. And you give it a little mist with the accelerator and then wipe it off and then repeat. And now the next little bit of super glue is just to bring it up flush. And there it is, pretty much flush. Now all I got to do is sand it back. Okay, there it is, repaired. The only caution I would give you is when the super glue is sprayed with the accelerator, it tends to become really thin and runny. And so keep an eye on it. If you've got it tilted, it will run to one side. But here you can see how near perfectly flush it is. I've got a little extra on there so I can sand it back. And when I'm done, it'll be this little clear glass fix that will be perfect. Okay, so here's the next repair. This is a little lure I'm making on the lathe. It's one of those jelly bean shaped crankbaits that I really love to use. And when I'm shaping it, it actually revealed a wormhole in the middle of it, since I'm using chunks of wood that I'm finding in the yard. So this is a problem, and I can't really repair it the way I repaired the other one, but I can do something very similar. So I'm going to start off by getting some super glue in the hole. And what that does is it sort of stiffens the wood around there, just in case it's a little soft. Now the wood absorbs it so quickly, you almost don't have to worry about wiping anything off. But it's not a bad idea to have a little piece of paper towel. So the next step is to fill it with something. Now I could use some sawdust. I got plenty handy. But I prefer actually to use baking soda. Yeah, Arm & Hammer baking soda. And I keep it in this little jar so I can apply it really easy. And I can sort of spritz it in there and then push it around and then push it up in there with anything. I mean, you can use a brush. You can use whatever you feel like using. You don't have to fill it up completely for the first little bit. But there you go. That's pretty full. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of crazy glue on it. And it should just soak it right up. Okay. So that'll take just a moment to set up. Almost nothing at all. It sets up really quickly. It reacts with that baking soda really well. So I'm going to put a little more on there just to get it coated. There you go. Okay, now it's almost completely set up. It takes about 30 seconds, if that. I'm going to go ahead and spin this thing. I can't do it with the camera on here, but I'm going to spin it, sand it, and I'll show it to you when it's done. So here's the finished product. You can see it's nice and smooth. Okay, there's a close-up shot. See how smooth that is? This lure is ready for some finishing touches, including eye sockets and then the lip slot. I'll cut it off and I'll be ready to seal it and paint it and get it cranked up. Okay, don't forget to push that button and subscribe. And thank you to Nellie for making this for me. It's a very talented young lady with a lot of creativity. Thanks a lot. Subscribe, share it, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.